This is the call. If this video has found you today, it is because something has already begun to move in your favor. The promise is simple. You are about to stop interfering and start allowing. To hear the call of a chapel bell, you must first be silent. To receive a letter, you do not speed its arrival by opening the postbox every hour. You trust it is on its way. What you are about to learn is the art of that sacred trust. The central thesis of our journey today is that to manifest is to align yourself on the inside and then to release the anxious craving for external proof. It is an act of profound self-trust. From this space, you will learn not only 3 simple micro-practices to cultivate this state of being, but also how to recognize your progress through the most subtle and powerful sign of all, the arrival of peace long before the arrival of evidence. This is where ancient faith and modern science form a bridge. The mystical teaching to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, as taught by Neville Goddard, is now understood through the work of pioneers like Gregg Braden as the biological state of heart coherence. It is not a mental trip, but a measurable physiological shift where your inner world becomes so orderly that the outer world must respond.
We begin with the quiet pain of chasing a sign, only to be met with silence. It is the feeling of sending out a clear call and hearing no echo, a dissonance that can lead to deep spiritual fatigue and doubt. But the silence is not a rejection, it is a reflection. Your life is like an orchestra, and it can only play the rhythm that you, as the conductor, set from within. If your inner tempo is one of anxiety and haste, the world cannot play you a symphony of peace. To change the music, we can begin with a simple micro-practice. For just 60 seconds, pause and breathe deeply into your heart space. As you exhale, silently repeat the phrase, "I set the pace to peace, not to pressure." This is not about forcing a feeling, but about gently choosing a new internal rhythm. This practice is built upon a foundational anchor of understanding. The external world will always repeat the tempo of your internal world. Your reality does not respond to your demands. It responds to the beat of your being.
Let us now address the quiet pain of constantly checking the telephone of destiny, waiting for it to ring. This compulsive need for updates, for signs that things are moving, is born from a deep anxiety. Yet, like trying to hold water in a sieve, the more you squeeze and control it, the more it slips away. The act of checking reinforces the feeling of absence, pushing away the very thing you hope to hold. A simple micro-practice to counteract this is to establish 3 sacred moments of non-checking during your day, once in the morning, once at midday, and once in the evening. During these times, you consciously choose to trust the process, allowing the universe to work without your constant supervision. You are teaching your nervous system that it is safe to not know and safe to trust. This practice is built upon a simple anchor of wisdom. Letting go helps to retain what is essential. True control is found not in a tight grip, but in a relaxed and open hand. We now face the quiet pain of impatience, the deep human desire to see the seed sprout immediately after it has been planted. It is the anxiety that makes us want to dig up the soil every day to check for progress, an act of distrust that can damage the very roots of our creation. The wisdom of the gardener reminds us of the sacred process. We provide water, sunlight, and patience. We do not interfere with the miracle unfolding in the darkness. To nurture this state of trust, a simple micro-practice is the state journal. Each day, write just 3 lines as if your desire has already manifested. Describe one physical sensation you would feel, one gesture you would make, and one visual detail you would see. This is not about forcing reality, but about familiarizing your body with the feeling of your new home so it knows what to recognize when it arrives. This practice is rooted in a simple anchor of truth. One who trusts waters, one who doubts digs. Your faith is the water that nourishes the unseen growth. We now arrive at the quiet pain of needing to test the universe at every hour, the subtle distrust that keeps us from fully surrendering to the creative process. It is the anxiety of the baker who, in their desire for the cake to be perfect, repeatedly opens the oven door. This constant interference disrupts the delicate alchemy of heat and time, causing the very creation they cherish to collapse.
When the anxiety to check arises, a simple micro-practice is to engage in a noble task for 5 to 7 minutes. This is a simple grounding activity that requires your gentle presence, such as watering your plants, slowly making a cup of tea, or even polishing your shoes. This act redirects your anxious energy into a calm, present focus, allowing the greater work to continue undisturbed. This practice is anchored in the profound understanding that the unseen works best without visitors. Your trust is the steady heat that allows your desire to rise. We now encounter the quiet pain of the silent test, the period where the anxious mind whispers, "Nothing has changed. Have I failed?" This is the moment where our faith is tested, not by a great storm, but by a profound stillness, a seeming lack of external feedback that can feel like abandonment. But this silence is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that the most important work is being done. Think of a musician tuning a violin before a concert. The audience does not see this private, meticulous process, but they can certainly perceive when the instrument is finally ready to play. This silent interval is your time of tuning. The universe is not testing you, it is giving you the space to hold the new note, to stabilize your frequency before the music begins. The true signs of progress during this time are not external, they are internal and deeply felt. You may notice a new lightness in your shoulders, a sense of a burden released. You might find your sleep is deeper and more peaceful. You may also feel less of a need to explain or justify yourself to others, resting in a quiet self-assurance.
This entire phase is anchored in a simple, profound truth. First comes the tuning, then comes the music. Your only work is to hold the note, to trust the tuning, and to know that the symphony is about to begin. To maintain this state of quiet knowing, we can create a daily kit of constancy, a series of simple rituals that anchor us in our new reality. The first is a 30-second act of faith upon waking. Before your mind engages with the day, place a hand on your heart and affirm, "It is already mine. I will walk today as one who has already received." This sets your energetic tone for the day. Throughout the day, your practice is to redirect your attention, keeping your hands busy and your heart quiet.
And in the evening, you complete the cycle with a 60-second closing ritual. Instead of asking for an adjustment or praying for a result, you simply recall one moment from your day where you felt a sense of peace, and you offer a quiet word of thanks for that feeling. This entire practice is like the lamplighter of old. Your work is not to run through the streets, waving the light in the wind, but simply to keep the flame steady and present within you. And so we arrive at the heart of this gentle unfolding, when you learn to assume the deep inner peace of having already received. Life begins to move with surprising speed to catch up to the pace you have set. It is a profound shift in identity. You cease to be the chaser of the outcome and become the calm anchor of its arrival.
Remember the images from our journey together. You are the conductor, setting the rhythm of peace, not pressure. You are the wise gardener who waters the soil with trust, refusing to dig up the seed out of impatience. You are the patient baker who keeps the oven door closed, allowing the unseen miracle to complete its work. And you are the watchman holding the lamp of your faith with a quiet and steady hand. The final invitation is to be faithful to the process, not a collector of the result. When you can do this, when your being becomes the very prayer you once spoke, you will find that what you were seeking was seeking you all along. For those ready to understand the deep science behind this state of being, your next step is the video appearing on your screen now. The Science of Becoming Magnetic to Life, Gregg Braden. There, we explore the precise biological state of heart coherence that transforms you from someone who chases life into someone who is naturally magnetic to it.